That was a very physical ball game. It started with the opening kickoff. There was a big hit, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the Wayne State player who suffered an injury at the beginning of that game. That kind of set the tone for the whole thing. That was a very physical game. I felt like on both sides of the ball we were very physical. Offensively, we ran the ball very effectively. We had two guys go over 100 yards. Obviously, Kirk Spencer had a big day going over 200, and you have to give credit to the offensive line and the work that they did, but our receivers on the perimeter blocked hard too. I mean, there's as much credit has to go to some of the skill guys for some of those rushing attacks as the guys up front, and that scheme that Wayne State had, they ran a lot of pressures, and we were running the ball into some pressures, and our guys up front handled that very well. And so we've got a good combination of backs going. Mike Rattay, he's good on the dirty runs. He very rarely takes any tackles for losses, and he's good down around the goal line. And Kirk Spencer is developing into a guy that's a little bit more of a home run threat, that when he gets into the back end of the defense, he has the speed to break away. So, I thought Charles Johnson played well too. He had 10 catches and went over 100 yards, and some of those were on screens that were very physical. There was a third down where we threw a screen to him and it was pretty much dead, and he just individual effort got us the first down and kept things going. So, Isaiah, again, some ups and downs. The one interception on the swing pass, that DN made a great play. That's kind of a tough thing. The second interception, we just got to make a better decision in that case. And so probably, the two areas of concern coming out of that game moving forward for us on the offensive side of the ball, one, our snaps. We had a couple high snaps that put us off schedule and didn't, handle the quarterback center exchange very well at times, and that's something that should be automatic. That's something that doesn't require really any talent. It has nothing to do with Wayne State. That's something that has to be automatic. So our snaps were a concern, and then we've got to continue to get better at our five-step passing game. I think probably due to the nature of Isaiah's injury and us not being able to really practice that much throughout the course of the week because we're not throwing the ball a ton, it's affected us a little bit. So he's feeling better, and so I think that's something we got to focus on this week, is be able to throw the ball in a five-step passing game. Defensively, we were fortunate early due to some injuries that we had in the secondary. We had Keontre Miskell playing some corner along with Devontae Jones and Suave Lavales, who had not played much this year. And, we dodged a couple bullets early. They came out throwing, and they dropped one and couldn't hook up on another one. But I thought after that initial rush, all those guys settled in really well. I thought Devontae Jones did a great job. And, Keontre, for given the situation, got nothing but great things to say about him. He was put in a very difficult situation with the injuries that occurred. He got to get moved over to corner and hadn't, really played collegiate corner at all. And so, he settled in and played well. Our guys up front, we were able to get some penetration and, stop the run game. I also think that our rushing defense was helped for the fact that we had a lead. I think a huge series in that game was and we could have converted at the end of the first half to get it to a three-score game, but we came in the locker room. They had 21-6. We came out, got great kickoff coverage. Billy Seiler made a play, pinned him back inside. We got a stop on defense, and then we scored to get it to 28-6. I thought that was a real critical series of plays between offense, defense, and special teams at the start of the third quarter. And, our rushing defense was aided by the fact that they were behind and had to throw a little bit more. And we got enough pressure, I think, on their quarterback. We only sacked him twice, but I think we were able to make him feel a little bit uncomfortable with our defensive line, and then using our linebackers, occasionally blitzing them and trying to get some pressure on the quarterback. So, special teams-wise, most of it was very positive. The missed field goal to get it to a three-score game, we got, again, that's a good snap, good hold, good kick. We got to make that kick. And, that definitely affected my decision late in the fourth quarter. We were down inside, and we had a fourth down play. I just did not want to kick a field goal and risk what happened against Northwood of getting it blocked and return for a touchdown, and now they're trotting out their onside team, so we decided to go for it on fourth down, and fortunately we were able to hook up with CJ on the touchdown. So I think that was another critical play, too, there at the end of the game. But, we've got to have confidence in our extra point field goal team, and we lost some confidence, obviously, after that mixed kick. So when you're heading into week 11 of the season, that should not be the case. So that's something, too, that we've got to continue to work on and get better. So all in all, I think the biggest thing in that game, our guys played hard. They played very hard as a physical game, and our guys played hard. Played very hard on defense, played very hard on offense. I mean, we played hard, and we talked about that Wayne State It's a physical group that plays with a lot of energy, and we're going to have to match that intensity. And so I give our kids credit. We matched that intensity and played very physical in that ball game. So moving forward to Saginaw, every year it has implications. Every game of Grand Valley has implications, but definitely the one at Saginaw seems to have implications when it comes to conference championships and such. So that will be the case Saturday. It'll be for for us to win the outright North Division championship. And that means a lot to us as a program. If you look at the North Division, there's 8 teams in the North Division. There's a potential that 7 of the 8 could finish with over 500 records. And to go through that half a division and the quality that there is in the North Division and win that, I think would mean a lot to our seniors, would mean a lot to our football team. So, and the one team that probably may not finish over 500, Northern Michigan, has won 3 of their last 4, beat Grand Valley and beat Saginaw Valley State. And so there's a lot of quality and depth of players and coaches in the North Division to be able to win that trophy outright and not have to share it with anybody and have that thing at Grand Valley. It's very meaningful for us. So we've got a tough test coming up. Their offense is very prolific. They've got a receiver that's leading the nation in catches. He's got 1,500 yards, is closing in on 100 receptions in a year, which is crazy. And Tim Hogue is a very good running back, and obviously Jonathan Jennings, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in this conference, North or South, overall quarterback. So it's going to be a tough test for us on the defensive side of the ball. And it's not like we're got our full complement of secondary out there, and so that's something we're working on right now as a coaching staff, try to figure out what players and what schemes give us the best chance to try to slow them down. I don't think we're going to stop them. We've just got to try to be opportunistic and try to slow them down because they're very prolific on that side of the ball. Defensively, they're very strong up the middle of their defense. I think Grant Caserta, a senior backer from West Ottawa, and Brian Johnson, and then Jeff Heath, their safety, are 3 of the better guys in the middle of defenses in the GLIAC conference. So, we've got to still be able to do what we've been doing, but it's going to get a little rougher, I think, just based on the personnel and what they have in there. So, like most games, it's going to come down to some field position. We got to get some longer fields for our defense, so special teams and offense setting that up, and then our offense has got to not turn the ball over and put us in some bad spots on the defensive side of the ball. I'd say that's one thing our defense did on Saturday. We had 2 sudden change opportunities, and we responded well on both of those. We threw a pick, held them to a field goal, and then after the missed field goal, we went out there and got a 3-and-out when it was still a 2-score game, and we'd just given up a drive. So our defense has been doing better late in the season in sudden change opportunities. We had one of those at Hillsdale, and we've been responding better. So, we just can't get put in a ton of those situations there. So, again, it's going to be about all of us working together, offense, defense, special teams, and understanding how the performance of one can affect the performance of the other. And we got to get back to work here, but definitely should have a bounce in our step here Tuesday. I mean, we've got a lot to play for coming up on Saturday, and sometimes there's a lot of teams in Division II right now heading into the 11th game of the year that don't have as much to play for. So we should be pretty excited to come to work and get after it.
Considering the injuries and whatnot you've got in the secondary, is there any part in your mind that kind of sees this game as maybe being a shootout where it's kind of your offense against their offense kind of?
Well, it's certainly a concern. This is the team that could definitely throw it the best, I think, of any of the teams in the North. I'd probably put Michigan Tech up there too. They're doing a good job throwing the football around. And last time we played them, we exactly slowed down Tyler Scarlett. So there's some concern, just overall about their passing attack. And I think that to help our secondary, I think it's going to be critical that we get some pressure on Jennings. I mean, that's, I think, going to be the one component that we've got to try to make sure he can't sit back there all day because we are thin back there.
Mick, I'm interested to hear what you think of your playoff possibilities, and outside of a win at Saginaw, do you have to do more to impress to get in place?
Well, I think, first of all, I told these guys yesterday that we shouldn't be spending any of our time really looking at that right now, players and or coaches, because it won't matter if we lose Saturday. Moving forward, the margin of victory really has nothing to do with the quality of how it looks, has nothing to do with the Division II model in regards to the playoffs. It has everything to do with wins and losses and strength of schedule and opponent's winning percentage, and there's a lot of numerical factors that go into the decisions. And so a lot of those things we can't control those. I mean, we can control our performance against Saginaw, and so a lot of those other factors we have no control over. So I haven't really looked at it a ton. I mean, I've got some of my guys on my staff that looked at. I haven't looked at the regional rankings once, to be honest with you. I've just been trying to do what we need to do because those are the only things that I can control at this point.
You talked a little bit about the offensive trio they have at quarterback and running back and receiver. Is there any better trio than what they kind of bring to the table that you guys are going to face in the GLIAC at all?
I don't think so. I think that the combination of those three players, Jeff Janis, Tim Hogue, and Jonathan Jennings, are a very potent attack. So they obviously statistically, if you take a look at the stats, they've been doing it against everybody. So they're good. I mean, they're, in my opinion, all three are all-conference players, and they've been leaning on them throughout the course of the season, and I'm sure they will moving forward too.
With that, what do you expect for health of Eric Thompson? Is he going to be back, and is Misko going to play corner again? Would he be back?
Well, I think that the two guys that obviously Reggie Williams is out. He's got the torn ACL and will have surgery coming up. Eric Thompson and the other guy we would like to try to get back to is Mike Hatcher, and that would help us tremendously, Peter, to get hopefully we can get one of the two guys back. So. It's going to be close. We'll know a little bit more on Tuesday. We'll get those guys out running around about their availability. But at this point in time, Keontre is going to be staying on the defensive side of the ball, probably, the rest of the week just because, those guys are coming off. Last time Mike Hatcher played was Northern Michigan. And that's tough when you come off, 4 weeks and not playing to come back. It'll be his fourth week back. But that's tough when you're coming off an injury like that. To just come out there and play at a high level. So we have to be prepared for Keontre to play. And, like I said, I give him a lot of credit given the situation he was thrown into. The injury to Eric Thompson occurred Tuesday at practice, and so we pulled him in Wednesday morning, and he just basically practiced Wednesday and Thursday. And it was a little rough at the beginning, but he settled in and played a lot better. And so, I give him a lot of credit, and I think, there's going to be you go Game 1 to Game 2, I expect to see some improvement, but he's going to have to play Saturday regardless of if we get Hatcher or Thompson, both back, one of them back, neither of them back.
Tim, talk a little about the balance you guys have had recently where you've been able to win games throwing the ball and win games running the ball, and how important it is for you guys to be able to show that you can, if one thing's not working, you can still manufacture offense, whether it be on the ground or in the air.
Yeah, I definitely think it's huge. Especially when we got, they're dropping 8, bringing 3 guys, and then, trying to get coverage downfield. I think, we attack that when you run the ball. So, just great running by our running backs this weekend on, getting the ball out in space, and obviously our wide receivers blocking downfield. I mean, a couple of those plays I saw on film that Chuck had some huge blocks downfield, so that was, for us as an offensive lineman, that's great to see.
And then Andrew, Coach has been talking about everything being in front of you guys, and obviously you've got this last game, and then kind of, from there it's unknown. But what is your guys' mindset, just kind of as a group, considering what you've done recently, going into this last game on the road against a rival team?
It's important, that we go into this. There is a lot in front of us, but at the same time, we just got to focus it just like it's any other game. If we don't, like Coach said, if we don't win this game, it doesn't matter what's in front of us. It's all up to us. Just got to go and prepare, just like it's another game. But there is a lot in front of us. It could be our last game as seniors, going into our last game, so it's very important for us. But just prepare like it's any other game.